Welcome everyone to our third information session for Balanced Forces at the UN's International Day of Peace out in New York City. We're super pumped to see what you all have to bring into the mix. This is definitely it was pretty quick turnaround from our pilot out in Port Moody, but I'm pretty excited. I actually just booked my flight out there last night, so it's definitely real. At least for me, it's definitely real. I'm just really excited to see what you all have come up with. I've already seen some of the entries, and man, it's really going to have an impact. So, just real quick, just about like what it is that we're doing. Oh, what up, JBR? You booked your hotel. That's amazing. So yeah, we're gonna have a whole crew out there, kind of supporting the art walk, and then doing some workshops. We're working with an organization that's going to be putting on some programming pertaining to the United Nations in the day. So I'm still waiting for more details on that. But I think we're going to be speaking at Margaritaville. That seems like a common destination that's over by the UN building. But yeah, so just a quick, since we do have some new faces here, I just wanted to do a quick overview of what's going on. So on September 21st of this year, so just a couple of weeks, the United Nations hosting their International Day of Peace. And it's really about creating a pause through our busy schedules and reflecting since where we're at in the globe, being tied together in all of our communities, especially in the States, from all over, some from war-torn countries, some from places that really need a moment of just reprieve. This is a time to reflect, a time of reflection. So in seeing that and seeing how a lot of the artwork and stories from Port Moody revolved around just different narratives from all over the world. So I think we had Kazakhstan in the house, we had all the European countries, we had Russia, we had Iran, we had again all over from the last Balanced Forces, that we figured that this was a moment that we could be able to share different stories from all the creators and then be able to present them into the world through augmented reality. And so that's where this Balanced Forces exhibition came to be. Oh, nice. We got Elam in the building. We got Vanessa in the building. What's going on, y'all? And I see Anna just raised her hand. If you have a quick question.
My bad.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Well, yeah. So before I move on, Sven or JBR or Crystal from the Balanced Forces team, do y'all want to say a couple words or say what's up?
Hey everybody again, it's me, Sven from Germany calling, Hamburg, Germany. I'm still excited because I just submitted my own piece for the upcoming exhibition in New York. And if you see, here's the rendering. Oh, maybe you can see.
Nice.
So it has some effects. It's not possible on AR, but it looks very good. I animated at illust, at the illust web application, and it looks very good. So I'm still excited and hope more people or new people will join, and wishing everybody a lot of fun today and some information by Rob and JVR and Crystal. It's a great team. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, Sven.
Good morning, everyone. It's Crystal here. I'm in Port Moody. I'm really excited about moving Balanced Forces into New York. I think it's going to be so wonderful. I think it's such a great day to come together and also just experience so many different artists. And I can't wait to see where the submissions come from this time. I think it's going to really have an impact on the overall show. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing what comes in. And I'm going to work on a piece as well for the show. So welcome, everyone. And thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Crystal. Awesome. JVR.
Hi, everybody. It's so great to be here. Wow, look at all these beautiful faces, man. And we keep getting artists who just keep coming back, right? It's so rad. I'm really, really excited. I mean, Jay in the box is in the house. It's looking all cool. Right? Shoot. Dan, dude, I wish I looked as cool as you. Quasar's back. I mean, like, to get Quasar back in I remember the first time we did this back in 2021. I don't remember what what event it was for, but I remember Quasar and I both cried when we were able to tether our artwork and map it to the world. It was such an experience, man. I remember we hung on the call after it was all over with Jen Joy, and the four of us or five of us that were left over were just bawling. But I just want to say, so like the lead into that is that Balanced Forces. It's not just this exhibit. It's not just exhibiting beautiful AR into the world. I think it's going to be a movement. And I think that this obviously connects all communities of every color around the globe to make, public spaces much more interactive, inclusive, and alive. So I'm really stoked to be a part of this, and I can't wait to see what the beautiful creatives in this house make for Peace Day. And so-
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing, JPR. And yeah, this is really a culmination going from the woods out in Port Moody to the concrete jungle of LA. This is let me go ahead. So for some reason this is not wanting to play it. There's just a little bit of a recap of the Port Moody exhibition, as well as like kind of the flow, the walk. But I don't want to inundate you with some technical difficulties. If y'all are interested, I can happily share this deck with you after the fact. I think usually I just share the recording, but if that's something you'd like to see, I can include that in the next email so you can take a dive into it. So again, some fresh faces here. You might be wondering who I am. My name is Rob McCurdy. I'm one of the co-founders of Illust. We're an augmented reality publishing platform, AR creator studio. So on one side of it, we're a creator tool like a Blender Lite. But then on the other side of it, we're like a Pokemon Go for culture. So you can take your creations that you're creating in our studio and you can publish them into the world, geofencing them, tethering them to the face, or tethering them to, say, an object that's in the world, like a mural or an art piece or a t-shirt. And so we've had the opportunity of working with some pretty incredible brands, agencies, artists along the way. And it wasn't until really earlier this year that we started opening the tools up so that other folks can start using them. Um, possibly, but yeah, I think that was I think I'm speaking that if Wonder Light was your comment there, we might let's take that route. But yeah, so I had come into this space for it's been more than 10 years now, probably a little bit more. My business partner even longer than that, but was in VR first, then went into AR as a consultant for Meta as they were launching Spark AR, and just got a really good purview into their roadmap. Pokemon Go. So we got a good understanding of their roadmap and just kind of where was the puck going. And despite a lot of their efforts, they were onboarding creators on one hand, but they were signing away all of their IP rights on the other hand. So it just became this weird, convoluted, and just failed deception from Meta about what they're really trying to do with their platform and if they really care for creators. So the business partner, Tim, he was doing score visuals for Paul McCartney and Coldplay and data visualizations for the UI. So he's been in the game for a long time. And the same kind of thing was happening over in the Snapchat ecosystem. It was a little bit better for creators, but nonetheless, none of the creators own their end output. So we decided to partner up together and create illust. And we launched in 2020. And we had worked with, our first collaboration was with Emmett Doom before he had passed away. And we put his mask on the blockchain, eternalizing this main figure in hip hop or underground hip hop culture, and that really set the trajectory for us moving forward into what was building these kind of breadcrumbs for the future metaverse, which is outside, which is the world. And the world is an operating system that we're very familiar with, and it actually is because of that reason that we have memory palaces and things like that. But yeah, so going back to it, this is a quick little update or a little overview of what happened over at our pilot. We're calling it now our pilot. It was really just a one of one, and then we decided to actually extend this out to more cities and locations, given the success of it. But yeah, we had close to 100 works that were submitted from across the world. They're all geotethered to this map along the shoreline trail out of Port Moody. And from that, there was a whole navigation element of it where folks could be able to get up, walk around, and experience the works. So today is another build in public session. Generally, I'll go into some more about like why AR, why is AR a more formative medium, that's something to invest in. I'm just going to lightly tap on just because you have this engagement that's in the world. You can also generate a much deeper connection between the artwork and the artist. But then also, it's a format. 3D is a format that young people are growing accustomed to, such as Gen Z is more comfortable outfitting their avatar than they are themselves, and they invest more time and money into their avatar dress fashion than they do it themselves. That it's just that's the way the world is going, and so building with these 3D platforms and 3D systems is going to connect with folks in a deeper, more enriching way, in a longer way. So before we jump into Build in Public, I just want to say we're doing a free promo code for the first month of access to the studio for first-time creators. It's this little note right here, df-nyc-piece. It's all caps. But if you scan that QR code, you'll get a free month to give illust a try. It'll give you enough time to set up your artwork and promote and get it published for the exhibition coming up. But this QR code goes right to the admin, or excuse me, the studio panel. Yeah, Matt, I saw that you had your hand raised.
Just wanted to ask, I'm coming from a different perspective on all this, more from Web3, search engine, lead generation, helping local businesses, but some are finally waking up to the benefits of AR. And organizations, let's say here in Texas, the Texas Historical Commission, which has thousands of little landmarks all over the place. But if you were driving by the side of the road, someone who's into history might be fascinated by an otherwise empty patch of grass or concrete wherever the historical incident took place. So if I were to go in and test some of this stuff out, one thing I was asked by a mentor, do you have the ability to have the artwork have a clickable link, which then takes people to a landing page where they could learn more about the history? And I mean, I know you don't want to clutter up your platform with business spam per se, but if there is something of fascinating interest and it happens to be sponsored by a local business, but the artwork is hyper relevant to the actual location and adds value, is that type of thing something that would be okay to test in your platform? I don't want to just go in there and just start testing what I want to achieve without asking ahead of time, out of etiquette.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. Yeah, of course, Matt. So I think we'll actually segue into kind of what we're doing here. So the idea, so the way our system is set up is that everyone has their own ability to publish experiences into this global map. And this global map is, until it gets to a point where you need to actually have an algorithm that goes based off probably like a version of time and like engagement, things like that. You can publish as much as you want to this global map as you choose. But then we also have these curated maps. These curated maps are what we're doing for Balanced Forces, where we're actually going to take a selection of the works that were published to that global map, and we're going to curate a specific art walk with those curated works. So we're going to take, I think now there's close to 3,000 placements on the global map, maybe a little bit more. We're going to take a small focus group of that amount. So actually, for this one, probably between again 40 and 50 works, and have that only exclusively on that specific map. So, talking about a historical walk, you could create your own custom specific historical map, and that map is something that you can purview access, or excuse me, provide permission to access to for people to publish to, so that it's focused around the stories that you're trying to tell. So in this case, we have this is the map of where we're going to be setting up. So we're going to be setting up over in Bryant Park for the actual day. We're actually going to have events taking place on Saturday the 20th. So I'm not sure if we're going to actually start doing walks on the 20th, but we are going to be doing walks on the 21st. That is the day of International Day of Peace. So we have these coordinates right here. So if you go into our studio, you could actually punch these coordinates into the location. It's going to provide you with a waypoint at Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. And if you're participating in this exhibition, if you just geofence or drop a pin at any location between this on kind of like this purple rectangle, as well as within Bryant Park, this will be the lap that we're taking around, which is kind of like a half-mile loop for folks. So it's very, very easy for us to do. So this is where, at least for the International Day of Peace, we're going to be having our art walk take place. And afterwards, we are then going to be moving down to give it a more permanent home, which will be in Tompkins Square Plaza, or Square Park, which is kind of in the heartbed of East Village, like right in the heart. East Village being a place where a lot of like the countercultural movement, countercultural art scene. If I'm not mistaken, there was who was it? Velvet Underground, I think, or I think Velvet Underground. That's where they made their album. But anyways, it's also going to be, we have a collaboration that we're working on right now with an empanada restaurant that's literally across the street from the venue, so we could actually have some more like physical materials that we can distribute, and we have a place where we can drive people on a more permanent basis. And also their empanadas, as I've heard, are very fire. So that's also will help with walking around, consuming all the art while consuming all the empanadas. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the actual movement of the artwork to Tompkins. We'll handle that on our side, and we'll be able to like rearrange. But that's something that just want to give you a heads up. If you see your artwork on the 22nd different location, this is where it's going to be, and this is where we're going to be driving people. So if you know folks that are in New York and they can't make it on Sunday the 21st, we're going to have, and I'll provide the specific address for the restaurant and all that good stuff. Probably next week we'll have even more specific details. But yeah, so that's on that front. So let's go ahead. This kind of opens us up to the demo side of the coin in today's chat. So I'm going to start off with just the basics, and then I'm going to switch over to the face effect side of the coin. I know that was something that we were talking to be a fun discussion today. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the studio. This is the web address for the studio. vr.illust.spaceport/admin. If I also found out that admin is case sensitive, so if you have capitals in it, it might not pull up. So that's something that we're gonna take a look at. So once you get into the studio, you'll see this banner. This banner goes straight into our tutorials page. So if you ever are looking for help, this is where a bunch of our tutorials and like FAQ and stuff. So you get little bit more about the different modules. You want to learn a little bit more about lighting, shadows, that kind of stuff. Go ahead. So let's go ahead and create AR experience from scratch. And first and foremost, we have this studio preview. It's a warehouse. You can change out the backdrop. Backdrop's HDR map, not very important right now. All you know that this is a warehouse just for us to kind of like visually see like what we're producing, get an idea of kind of like the scale. So I'm gonna type in a name, balance forces demo. I'm going to generate. I always click generate for the slug. This is so that you avoid any confusion to backend. It's actually creating a web address for your experience. So there's really 3 key pieces of information you need to save your work: the name, the slug, and the author. It takes a couple seconds though, so you just have to be a little patient. In the meantime, I'm going to click the me button for author, because that is me. As you'll see, it's a pretty lengthy set of numbers. That's basically using the backend for our studio. Our studio runs our architectures on the blockchain, so that's why you have this long string of numbers. But if you try to put in like your actual username, like Robioso or something that's more phonetic, it will not register. So always click me. That's the same thing for generating. About is what actually, if you click more information, the AR scene itself, you get into about our piece. So this is part of the NYC collection. So now if someone clicks more information, the AR scene, they get this information. Show on map is key. If you want your art piece to be visible for the exhibition, make sure show on map is turned on, because it'll actually have a waypoint. Now, this is where you actually upload your experience. So you can upload image, video, 3D model, streaming texture, which we did last week, or text or text. So image is the simplest. If I click upload image, and I pull it from my computer. I got the image here, and you'll see automatically it generates a lighting system. So you don't have to fiddle too much with it. It already has a shadow. I'll show you where I can change like the size, the controls, the lighting, but for right now, I just upload an image and boom, it's right there. If say I have a 3D model and I want to upload a 3D model, and say it has animations, as like it's rigged out as animations, make sure you bake the animations and it's in a GLB file format. GLB file format for 3D. That is our key. So this is how it runs. If you bake the animations, these are coming through in the studio. So that's just kind of like a little idea there. So again, this is an image. Video, same thing. If you have a video that's fairly large, so say like 15 megabytes or more, I'd use the streaming texture feature. So if you check out the recap from last week, I actually went through and kind of ran through the streaming video feature. Not going to do it this week since we did it last week. We're going to do face effects. But it's a good way if you have a really heavy video and you want it to be running smoothly in the AR scene, use the streaming texture feature. And it's also in our simple tutorials under launch a hologram. You can launch a hologram in the same way. There's just one more step to do a hologram. But I might want to change the name of that. But yeah, it's that's the streaming texture, which also has a chroma key that's attached to it. We're going to go back to our simple image. And now I'm going to geofence it in the world. So I'm going to punch in the address, which is going to be, let's see, do it. See, 1 second. We'll pull up the address. And so I could just copy these coordinates to get really specific. And since I either what spelling, you can't spell Margaritaville, or I just I'm just going to be more precise here, just punch in the lap. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, well, it is now exactly where I want it on Margaritaville. All right, so cool. I've now just geotethered my image to Margaritaville, but I'm not done there. I want to make this a little bit. I want to embellish the AR scene a bit. So I'm going to actually, so in all practical purposes, this could be good enough because the user could actually pinch it, increase the size of it, scale, but I want to make it easier for the user on site. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the next module. So this is where you go between modules, is editor mode. There's a drop down that goes to world track. So now these are all the features that pertain to how it's viewed in the world. So first and foremost, don't need to worry about these. These are a little bit more advanced. But I do want to think about the geofence radius. 10 is default. Basically what this means is you have to be within 10 meters of where I drop this in the world for you to be able to access it. So say if I'm 20 meters away from Margaritaville and I click the pin to go visit it, it's going to say, hey, you got to be 10 more meters closer. And a compass will pull up pointing at Margaritaville saying, go 10 more meters. I just leave it as is. It's already pretty good. 10 meters is great for New York, but for everything. This is where you can transform the actual size scale of the object. So I always go straight to scale because this looks pretty small. I'm kind of eyeballing it just from having been in the system for a while. And you can easily play around with it. I'll show you how to A/B test it back and forth. But if I click 5, 5, 5, it's now going to get really large. Notice I add the space between the 5s. That's really important. For any of these, you want to add a little bit of the space. Position, this is where it shows up in relation to the camera when it's rendering. So 1 brings it up. So now it's floating a little bit off the ground. Shadow is still down there. If I want to push it back a little bit, I can push it back by going into big Z space. Or if I want to move it left or right, I could do that. These things. So I'm going to bring it back to, so a little bit further back. It's really big. So now I want to have it further back and floating off the ground. I'm going to click save, which is up here. If you press enter, enter will also save it, but here's the save button for record. I always try and save everything periodically because if you accidentally go back and then go forward, your experience isn't going to be saved. So you always have to make sure that you're saving along the way. Now, I'm going to add one more module, and then I'm going to show you the preview, the AR preview for testing it out at home. So the last thing I want to add is just, I can go into the lighting. I might want to make the shadow a little bit better, a little bit maybe thicker. I'll make the shadows a little bit thicker. So I could change the opacity. You can feel free to play around with these tools. You can change like the color of the lighting if you want to, the direction of the lighting, all that kind of stuff. But I want to keep it as is. And I'm going to go into the animations module and add in some little bit of movement. I think it was cool. All right. So that should be good to preview. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and click the simple AR preview. So this is real quick before I jump into the actual preview side. If I click simple AR preview, this is the way to test it where there's no geofence. So you can just test it at home. And because there's no geofence, it's also really stripped down. It's like it's what I usually do is I have my phone out. I click the simple AR preview, I pull it up on my phone, and then I workshop the size, scale in the studio. I click save, and then it updates in real time on the phone. So I have to keep scanning the QR code back and forth. I just scan it once, and then I'll just refresh it. Because once you save it here, you just refresh the URL, it'll then update on your phone. So that's an easy way to kind of like go back and forth between everything. So yeah, let me just do that real quick, and then we will jump. We have about 10 minutes to do a face effect. We'll jump into the face effect land. But yeah, let me there we go. Got it. So permissions. Turn it. All right, there we go. So, all right, I'm looking at this piece. I didn't really know it was there, so I'm gonna go actually push it back into Z gap a bit more, so I know when it renders, it's right here. Right now, it's a little choppy as it's coming through, just because of screen recording and the AR scene. But on my device, it's coming through the smooth run. So I'm gonna go back over to Studio here.
I have it on my device too, Rob. Just so that you know, I'm checking on mine and it's looking pretty
Nice.
dope.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So it's not geofence, so like anyone can basically activate it. So I'm gonna go over to your world tracking. I'm gonna push it back a little bit further just so that when it renders, I know it's right there. It's hovering above my head. So I might be looking all over for it. Like, oh shoot, where the heck did it go? Now I save it.
Can I ask a question real quick, Rob, about scale?
Yeah.
What is the largest you can go? I brought in a GLB that was pretty small, and I didn't know how large I could go. What is the largest I could go?
In terms of like the size of the object or the weight of the file?
I guess I was scared. You know, the box is really huge, but I did like 500, 500, 500. Is that
Yeah.
bad? Like, would it load slow on a phone? Like, what would happen?
The loading, it wouldn't affect loading whatsoever. But what it would do is it'll probably be so big that if you think about your camera as being like a position 0, because that's where your camera is. If you have it be 500, 500, 500, you're gonna see through it. So you're gonna want to push it. You're gonna want to
Push it back. So
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah. So we bring it back to my computer here.
We can come back to that. I can ask that in a just out call. But I just want to know how to do that.
That's a great question. Yeah, it's my get off my. Sorry, 1 second. About juggling a couple things with the screen share on the mobile device. So we just it's now the device is starting to act up, of course. Just give me 1 second to pull it back in. What's up, LM?
Hey, I just wanted to say, while you were working on that, I wanted to talk about the size of the items or things that you were bringing in. Because I'm testing that out also. Sometimes I make my items really, really small and they'll be like, it's too small, make it bigger. But the really cool thing is I would just do and aim for a medium size at all times, because inside of the app, if you go down to the bottom inside of the world tracking, you can enlarge it there. And that way you won't have to worry about what the size of it is in Blender so much, as if you just make it a standard size, your typical what you're used to working in size, and then you can blow it up as big as you want to on the sizing for the world tracking, just as a suggestion.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, LM. And perfect timing too, because I was able to get this working. This screen sharing. So what I was telling Quasar was that, so say if he blows this up to like even just like 50, 50, 50. It's, see how it looks like it like comes in closer. It's so much bigger. So you want to push this back about like 50 yards. So it's a little bit further away, because it's basically trying to approximate like as the eye sees, like if something's really big, and but you push it further away, it kind of counteracts the bigness. But as you walk up to it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's just kind of it's the vantage point that you're trying to calculate there. But again, with all of this, go ahead and give it a shot, try it out. Click the simple AR preview and just workshop it in your office and just try sort it out that way. That's really it's really trial and error, and then you'll get to understand, like, you kind of get a feel for what works well in the environment. But since we're on this, I'm gonna switch it over gears into the face effect. Since it is a very simple thing to do, and I can just stream from here. Before I do, is there any questions about the geo positioning, the image, the scaling, any of that stuff? Jay in the box? Yep.
Yeah. I got a question. It's not really about this, but this is my chance to. I'm trying to make a race. I call it On the Rocks, the illest race ever. Could that be something we could talk about? I mean, because the way I think about it, we got all these brilliant minds together at one time. So why don't we just try to make this huge?
Yeah, what I would say, let's maybe after the chat we can go into some more like strategy related things. But I think right now I just want to go into just a feature specific maybe.
I'm sorry, my bad. I just wanted.
You're good. You're good. I love the passion though. I think yeah, there's so much that we can do with this that it's always fun to think about. One, I remembered Matt had a question about hyperlinks. There is a module where you can add a hyperlink to more information about your piece. This is something I want to really underscore, especially as creators who have this artwork that even might be minted on another website, such as a Rarible or a object, or wherever you might be having your artwork for sale. Please add a hyperlink to where your artwork is for sale. That is a very could be an opportunity for folks. I could also, while we're having the walks, we could tell people, hey, the hyperlink, if you want to buy the art, you gravitate towards any of these works, please check out this link right here. It's in the AR scene. It shows up and is it's something that you can configure or whatever you want to do. What's up, Matt?
Just as read that field right there, and thank you for bringing it up. When I go into test, are you okay if I send Google likes to index or test different links to see with the indexing with all the metadata and everything else that comes in with it? So therefore, in something like a typical Google search result or another search engine, even something potentially like an AI tool, ChatGPT, or whatever, that if this link is clickable to the general public and they can index it, or Google can index it with its robots. I'm going to be testing this also out with a minor league sports league, which has different markets where they want to potentially brand their logo, their mascot, and other things around town where people would be able to engage with it. And then the clickable link would take them to some sort of promotional event. But it's a way for people to have a good time and, like a townwide scavenger hunt. But have you done any testing yet? Either for this, I guess it's this ar.illust.space is your main URL. And did you also have the previous one, the illust.ar? Was that a domain that you had as well?
Yeah. Right now it's redirecting back to ar.illust.space. We have there's a version of the app that we deployed through that URL, but yeah, we could chat about that one too afterwards. I think we're getting a little bit into the weeds.
No, I want to say thank you for showing me, because that's the thing right there. That also for anyone who does want to have, I always look at the triangle of marketing. You have inbound, search, outbound, advertising, and of course word of mouth, which is what this is primarily focused. But for those who want to get some inbound traffic passively, depending what people are looking for, if this can do the trick, people might be able to have their AR content, a thumbnail of it, or this upload file JPEG that will come in could show up in Google Images or Pinterest or things like that, and then drive the traffic back.
Matt, let's definitely talk. That's really interesting, and could provide a lot of value to creators using our platform. So yeah, let's.
I hope it's an extra way to get some passive traffic to the content.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Link juice. Yep, of course. Sweet. So now we're gonna turn it over to the face tracking module. I do have a hard stop at 10, as I imagine a lot of you do as well. So I'm gonna be pretty quick, but I just want to brush over some concepts real quick. So here is this ads. Here, there, just did that. All right, cool. So 2 concepts that I want to introduce today. So one is the face material and the face texture. So as you can see with this video, this guy has this mask. The mask kind of looks like a Jabberwocky's mask, all the dance troupe. But basically, this mask is the face texture. And then we also have the material as a position around the head. So I have the shoe that's basically anchored around wherever the material is, and we have the face texture, which is the face paint. And so there's 2 different modules in face tracking to be able to set that up. So going back into it, we have this, the mesh. So it's actually the mesh of the we have the face mesh that you're actually anchoring around. So when you say the face mesh, it's basically, think of like we have this like imaginary drawing of a face, and you can actually anchor an object or an item based upon the forehead, the eyebrow, the cheek, the ear. So if you want to do earrings, you have to anchor off the ear, mouth, chin. And based upon where all that is located, you could actually set up this face effect. So if I just set it as is, and maybe I'll do forehead, and I have this image that we already created, we already uploaded, I click save, there's a little button that shows up that says face tracking. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. And now it should run. Well, so now I have tied to my head. My forehead. Hey, Janabox, you might needing your how long we straight to you're good. Oops, sorry, let's see here.
Thank you.
There we go. So yeah, I'd push that to my head. If I moved it around to a different part of the mesh, I could say drop it down a little bit smaller. But I'm gonna it has its own controls and size and everything too. So I'm gonna go ahead and use its own controls for the face effect to make this a little bit smaller. And now I'm gonna try and wear this more. See, now it's small. So now it's on my forehead. But say I want to like bring it up a little bit higher, I could just use the same kind of controls like I did with world tracking, but now Go ahead and refresh it. Sometimes you want to refresh it just to let it run. Oh, maybe that is weird. Oh, I think it's too small. Okay, let's go back. So you could actually kind of play around with like the size. Oh, it's too high. There we go. Now it's floating over my head. And you can also see that it has that slight animation from the animation module still running. So this works with video, this works with images. It also works with streaming as well. But if I said, hey, you know what? That's all cool. Like the face mesh positioning, that's all great. But I really want to make some face paint. This is how you make some face paint. Is you enable the texture face track. So I'm gonna click on. You do have to upload your image or your video, or basically your texture. So I'm just gonna re-upload that same image. And then I'm gonna select an alpha map. So this is kind of cool. So based on what the alpha map is, it's gonna show you. This is the eyes and the mouth. This will show you like how it's gonna be canvassed on your face. So you could show, say if you want to do like was that Phantom of the Opera? I think it's like that. You could then have half your face that's then projected onto the other half that's not. So let's go ahead and roll with the Phantom of the Opera style mask. And I'm gonna click save. And now, second here, I'm gonna refresh it. Now I got the face paint now on it from the image that I was using. So now I have this object up here that I set up, and then I got the texture of the face paint. So between the two of those, there's a lot of different combinations you can come up with, and whether it be for like sports teams or, you know, just like some fun things for people to do. The really cool thing about the AR face effect is that you can actually pair your world effects. I made this really big. I'll make this well. You could pair your world effect with your face effect all in the same scene. So you can, in theory, geofence your face effect with whatever your art piece is. So there are some times where you might want to include both of them in the same like location. So there's just a little, like in the AR scene, there's a little button where you can rotate the camera and then the face effect that you create also appears. So now you can have one placement that has multiple effects on site for the end user. So there we're just kind of we're like kind of peeling back like what use cases there are for this. But so right now it's definitely in like let's play around with the tools. But there are, it's just something that I think that could be interesting. And so yeah, Matt, go for it.
Just wanted to ask for something like I just thought of an idea. A friend of mine is in the professional whistling industry where they have the people who wear the masks, right? So if you were to geofence it and have X enough people to justify it, how would this be done? Would it be done with a QR code that the average fan would scan, or would they actually have to become members of the platform?
Yeah, so QR that can be scanned. You can, if you wanted only the face effect, you could click the face effect button and it'll only pull up the face track. If you actually wanted this to be geotethered, you would use the spatial AR preview, and you'd have to go. That would show up, but that would pull up the map. Yeah, I think.
Well, thank you for clarifying. I just want I missed the button you hit, so thank you for going over that.
You're good. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, the face tracking too. I'll pull up something a little bit different. You can also do video, as I mentioned. This might be. It does have. Oh, I don't know. This might be a little bit too big. I think it's 15 megabytes. But let me see if this pulls out. So let's see here. Refresh it. Oh, there's JBR's video too as a face mask.
That's
so yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, so you could do again, really any but video, images, the whole 9 yards for it, and then also 3D models for the mesh. You could also do 3D models. That's how we did the we did this exhibit for that was a 3D shoe model that we used for the on-chain summit last week ago. But yeah, so that's a bit more about face effects. There is again a tutorial in the tutorial area. This is from last week's streaming video. So just gonna be drawn to a close. I know there's a fire hose of information coming at y'all. This Friday we do have office hours at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Office hours, if you have any ideas or just trying to like get an idea over the hump, we'll have that time allocated to just answer any questions y'all have or thoughts, plans to take over the world, those kinds of things. We're around for it. And then yeah, so this is one way to submit. If you're only doing 2D, second. Can y'all hear me all right? Okay, cool. My headphones just died, of course. So if you're doing 2D only work, this is a link to the submission or the blog post on Webby. It doesn't have a 3D form. If you're using the other Google Forms, that's cool as well. We're gonna look at both of them. We're trying this one out just to see how the program works. So this is one way to do a submission. You have a little badge and all that kind of stuff too, going through this way. But yeah, just food for thought. I'm gonna drop into the chat here some links too, because I know that we got some questions and whatnot. So information session, if you want to book a chat for information session, go ahead. Excuse me, not information session. Office hours. Office hours, you can book through that link I just sent in the chat. If you're looking to submit your artwork, but you can't find the form to submit it, here is the link to the form to submit your artwork. And let's see, are there any other links you want me to send over, or I might have mentioned that I forgot for me to send over? Because I had Firo's information today. Here is the studio login. If you're trying to get in the studio, give that a try. Yeah, and then if you just want to access, oh nice, there you go, JBR. JBR just shared over like the whole. That'll give you the whole enchilada when it comes to like the call for submissions, the blog posts, the insight, the creators, collaborators, all that good stuff. Searchlight.art, balance forces. Europe. But yeah, and then here's the again QR code plus the studio promo BF-NYC-piece for free month into the studio. It's actually 37 days of free access into the studio. But that includes the 7-day free trial plus 30 days. But yeah, again, I'll be around Friday. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to email me as well. If you have questions, I'll do my best to try and reach out. But so it might be about 24 hours before I get back to you. But yeah, we're getting to like kind of the final stretch. We're now officially past the halfway mark. I think next session, what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the actual form and how to fill out the form, the call for submissions form. So if you can be as prepared as possible, have like a work that you're already workshopping or you want to submit in mind, and then we'll go through the process of submitting it to the show. So thank you all so much again, so much for coming in, chatting with us. It's so great to see all familiar faces. Yeah, so it's the 21st, Sunday the 21st, is the activation. So that was something that came up. Not this Sunday, but the 2 Sundays from now, I believe. It's 21st, 3 Sundays from now. So sorry for the confusion there, but thank you all. Yeah, of course. Appreciate everyone coming in, and we'll see you next Wednesday for a more thorough dive into the actual artist call for submissions form. Have a good rest of your week, and yeah, the world is yours. Take care.
Boom, ding, dong,